Hey there, fellow wanderers. Tonight, we sail into a world caught between legend and ice, the realm of Viking warriors, where steel, storm, and silence shaped every breath. Picture yourself wrapped in furs, your boots sinking into frost-hardened earth. The sky hangs heavy with grey, and the wind off the North Sea cuts deep. Here, survival is not promised, glory is not given, each day demands endurance, over the cold, the chaos, and your own doubt. You grip your axe not just for battle, but to carve meaning into a world that rarely offers comfort. And still, around every fjord, another test awaits. So before we drift into this world of longships and legends, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if stories of grit and forgotten winters speak to you. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from, and what time would your northern sky turn dark? Now dim the lights. Let your fan echo like distant waves, crashing against cold stone. Let's begin. As a Viking warrior, you inhabit a world where the elements themselves seem to conspire against your comfort. The icy winds, relentless in their persistence, find every gap in your clothing, tugging at your resolve. Your days are dictated by the stark realities of a rugged landscape carved by fjords and dense forests, homes to creatures both familiar and fearsome. You trudge through the mud and snow, your boots soggy, your footsteps heavy, each one echoing the challenges of living at the edge of what seems livable. Yet it's not just the weather that proves trying. The geography itself seems determined to challenge your very existence, with its jagged coastlines and steep, forbidding cliffs. Daily life is a series of negotiations with nature's harsh terms. A fight against the cold, stockpiles of wood to be gathered in preparation for long, unforgiving winters, and food to be hunted or harvested in short, frenetic bursts between bouts of storm and snow. You might be picturing the vibrant, omnipresent green of summer, a fleeting season that offers a brief respite. During those months, the land erupts in a riot of growth. Yet this bounty is as exhausting as it is tempting. The summers demand frantic labour to store enough provisions to see you through winter's quiet siege. Still, the long daylight hours offer you the chance to prepare, to meet the year-end challenges head-on, or to launch daring raids across the sea, following the trails of your ancestors, whose blood sings within you. Though sea raids might promise untold fortunes and endless tales of adventure, they're far from the glamorous pursuits the sagas suggest. The reality of a Viking raid begins with the rock and roll of a longship at the mercy of hostile waves, a journey punctuated by the groans of timbers and the biting salt spray leaping from the bow to sting your face. It's all too easy to lose your stomach over the side, or worse, to lose your nerve. Historians still argue whether Viking society was more than just warriors and plunderers. In truth, venturing out to sea with limited provisions, no advanced navigation tools, and only the sun, the stars, and the seabirds to guide you, required courage. Little room exists for error before the ocean swallows you whole. And suppose you reach foreign shores without mishap. In that case, the challenge of unfamiliar terrain, strange customs, and wary locals await, turning a potential raid into an exercise in negotiation as much as pillage. Beyond the battles and the voyages, the core sustenance of a Viking warrior's life is anchored in your homestead, a nexus of labour and loyalty that shapes your identity. These spaces are not first-world convenient homesteads. Rather, they are rugged constructions of wood and turf, designed to outlast the merciless climate, not to drape you in comfort. You share these confines not only with family but also livestock, rendering privacy almost non-existent, and your senses constantly assaulted by the clamour of life teeming around you. From the cold shores of Scandinavia to the green swathes of English valleys, the imprint of Viking life reverberates through history. Still, the romances of sagas do little justice to the grind of farming, hunting, and maintaining a homestead in such unforgiving environments. Basic tasks, tending to small plots of barley or enriching the soil with whatever organic matter you can scrounge, are relentless cycles punctuating the seasons, like the chapters of fate that govern Norse mythology. Of course, no discussion of Viking culture would be complete without touching upon the sea of myths and gods that envelop every aspect of your life. Odin, Thor, Loki, their tales swirl with as much ferocity as the swirling northern lights above, shaping not only belief but every action and decision. You find omens in everyday occurrences, signs guiding you in a world where destiny feels as tangible as the sturdy elm of your longship's hull. The supernatural is always close by, a thread woven through the very fabric of existence. A consolation, perhaps, for the raw deal of surviving such a demanding climate with only the promise of Valhalla as reward. While every day is a struggle against the stark realities and uncertainties of life, this brutal training in resilience and survival makes for unforgettable tales passed down through chants and songs. Tales that history passes even today with fascination and awe. So here you stand, shivering in the biting winds, every breath a visible mist against the grey horizon, living the life of a Viking warrior, watching as the cold sun shrinks toward the distant sea, readying yourself for whatever the next day and the next adventure may bring. Your early days as a young Viking are a relentless baptism into the world of warriors. From the moment you can walk, your path begins to diverge from the carefree play of childhood into the disciplined slog that forges you into a steadfast fighter. As a young Viking, each dawn brings you to the harsh realities of this world. Training, a merciless cycle of learning the art of war, is your primary education. The playground is neither wooden horses nor gentle games, but rather the hard-packed earth of the training ground. You find yourself thrust into mock battles, wielding wooden swords that clatter with the ferocity of your intentions and your companions in arms. The force of your strikes resonates in your bones, each swing honing your muscles and reflexes through sheer repetition. Ambition is tempered by the stern guidance of seasoned warriors, who watch with keen eyes, grizzled veterans who have danced dangerously close with death more times than you can imagine. In Viking society, war is the ultimate test, and glory the ultimate prize. From dawn until dusk, you train with intensity worthy of this truth. Target practice involves hurling spears and arrows at straw targets that never taunt you back. The discipline of such exercises ingrains precision and skill within. You missing the mark is simply not an option. You become acutely aware of the importance of each movement. You strive for strength, embodied in the swing of a sword, but also for the agility needed to dodge a foe's attack. A balance as precarious as the icy ridges you tread with caution. Your mentors teach more than just the mechanics of weaponry. They instill within you the code of a Viking warrior, a blend of courage, loyalty, and reputation. These are the invisible shields protecting you, and around these pillars your life is built. The ethos you are drilled in is not just a set of rules, but lived ideals that transcend the individual battles. You learn that what is at stake is not only your life, but your honor and status within the community, a concept as revered as any deity in your pantheon. Among these lessons, an acceptance of hardship is expected. Cry over nothing, the older warriors jest, but in reality, emotions and fear are seen as weaknesses. It's a path home you walk without yielding. A stoic facade is your armor to retain not just your dignity, but also your sanity in times of wear. Those older warriors chuckle sagely at your youthful ferocity, knowing well the burdens you will bear when the testing waves of adversity truly hit. The portrayal of Viking warriors as wild and unkempt may pervade modern media, yet grooming is another form of discipline in your training regimen. Despite your rugged life, you are taught to maintain your appearance symbolic of both order amidst chaos and the respect you wish to command. Your hair's braided, your tunic kept presentable, and your armor polished to a gleaming reminder of your aspirations. It's this attention to detail, this blend of civility amidst the chaos, that distinguishes the truly noble fighters among you. Once in a while you are taken to the woodlands or across the stony beaches for skull hunts, where academics still argue whether these outings are to foster teamwork or simply a pragmatic approach to feeding your village. Either way, the thrill of the hunt is invigorating, honing your instincts and bonding you with your peers. Skinning the catch teaches you resourcefulness, using every part of the animal for tools or clothing, a grisly, undeniable rite of passage. Along the way, you uncover quirky tidbits that make Viking life intriguing. For example, everyone partakes in gliama, a form of wrestling that serves to develop strength, flexibility, and breathtakingly a sense of humor. The goal, amusingly, is not just to defeat, but to do so with grace and showmanship, often leading to memorable tales and laughter shared around evening fires. Historians still argue whether the fearless nature ascribed to Vikings was an intrinsic quality or a cultivated trait, encouraged by the demands of their hard existence. What is clear, however, is that this relentless training and cultural ethos forge something remarkable. Each lesson, each bruise earned in practice, pushes you further on the path from boy to warrior, building an internal fortitude as necessary as your sword. In the end, this training is not merely physical. It shapes your entire worldview. The camaraderie of shared pain and success knits bonds tighter than any sinew could bind. You grow to understand that each drill, each strenuous task, is not just about survival. It's about weaving yourself into the rich tapestry of Viking legacy, where your story too will someday stride forward into the next verse of the sagas. As the sun dips below a horizon shaped by myth and man, you tuck away the lessons learned, preparing for sleep, knowing that tomorrow will undoubtedly test and teach you more. Your Viking diet is a curious mix of necessity and creativity, a testament to the adaptability required to thrive in the harsh environments of the north. Standing in the heart of your bustling settlement, you look around the longhouse, as the scent of stews and smoked meats fill the air, a comfort of familiarity, yet the reality of your sustenance is far more complex. Contrary to tales of lavish feasts, daily meals are humble and driven by what nature provides and the ingenuity with which you preserve and prepare your provisions. The foundation of your diet rests on modest bread made from barley, rye, or oat, a far cry from the fluffy loaves of modern bakeries. These dense chunks of carbs provide necessary energy, though they can sometimes feel like lead weights in your belly. If you're lucky, a spread of butter or lard will add some richness, even if these additions are competitive commodities, stored carefully during times of scarcity. Meat, though mythologized as a constant companion on your plate, is often reserved for special occasions when livestock can be spared. Preserving it through smoking, salting, or drying ensures a supply during the bleak winter months. Fish, however, is more frequent in your diet, a bounty from the sea that is less precariously dependent on livestock availability. These aquatic treasures, from herring to trout, bring the flavors of the cold waters directly to your feasts, complemented by aromatic herbs foraged from fields now dormant under frost. You bolster your meals with hearty servings of cabbage, beans, and root vegetables, pragmatic choices that withstand the biting frosts and offer vital nutrients to stave off illness. Despite your efforts, the cool climate limits agriculture's scope. Therefore, every successful harvest is a cause for celebration. For dessert, if winter's grip allows for it, you might enjoy dried berries or a sweet porridge made from grains, simple pleasures, savoured with no less enthusiasm than a rich king's banquet. And then there's mead, a drink of choice, bringing warmth and conviviality to your chilly evenings. Brewed from honey, water, and yeast, this golden liquor is a testament to the artistry of your people. Fermented to perfection and shared among friends or family, it strengthens bonds and lifts spirits, offering you a brief escape and daydreams of Valhalla in every sweet sip. Still, historians wonder whether mead's reputation outweighed its actual availability, a delightful myth that befits your people's penchant for storytelling. While on the subject of quirks in Viking cuisine, you explore the unusual role of seaweed in your diet, a sustainable snack foraged from the shoreline. Rich in nutrients, it provides a salty accent to monotonous dishes, turning a necessity into a delightful connection with the unique ecosystem surrounding you. Seaweed might find its unlikely companion in roasted puffin or dried whale meat, considered delicacies, albeit not to every taste, but perfect for your sea-hardened kin. Despite these culinary feats of nature and culture, hunger is a familiar companion, gnawing persistently during leaner years and unrelenting winters. Famine is not merely an imagined fear, but a potential crisis that haunts lightless shadows and echoes in your ancestors' tales. It may arise from unfavorable weather, raids on your own lands depleting resources, or systemic accidents, any of which could position your people on the precipice of starvation. To counter these threats, a strong sense of community sharing underscores everything you do, with endeavors like hunting, fishing, and farming supported by collective efforts. Each member of the settlement plays a part in ensuring survival. This collective resourcefulness helps build resilience, a web that catches everyone within its fibers when times grow too difficult for individuals to persist alone. Historians still argue about how diverse and widespread the Viking diet was, pondering whether these sea-steered warriors experienced hunger more regularly than we imagine, or if ingenious preservation techniques allowed for a surprisingly varied palate. Despite debate, this Nordic culinary ingenuity is mirrored in every dish prepared, each meal a careful choreography between nature's gifts and human craft. Though your diet is dictated by the land and the sea, it is shaped even more by your people's spirit and traditions. The centuries that separate you from modern civilization melt away each time a wooden spoon dips into a steaming cauldron of stew, or when dusk falls and the hearth crackles with life. The feast, however humble, is more than just sustenance. It is a shared experience, an opportunity to reinforce the bonds that hold you firmly within your community and the broader Viking narrative. As evening settles once more, your mind eases into a familiar rhythm. The echoes of clattering pans quiet, and the warmth of food settled in your belly lulls you towards sleep. You nestle deeper into furs, dreams sweetened not just by mead, but by visions of another bountiful tomorrow, crafted by the hands and hearts of your people. Standing at the shoreline, you gaze upon a marvel of Viking ingenuity. A longship pulled up onto the beach, its elegant form both hauntingly beautiful and a testament to your people's mastery of the seas. This vessel, with its sleek silhouette and dragon-headed prow, holds the promise of adventure and the heavy burden of reality. Despite its reputation as the favoured steed of the Norsemen, life aboard a longship is anything but idyllic. It's a raw, visceral experience that tests the fortitude of even the most seasoned sailor. As you prepare to set sail, the first thing that strikes you is the craftsmanship. Fashioned from resilient oak and ash, the longship's hull is expertly constructed to withstand both the turbulent open sea and the dangers of shallow river passages. The overlapping planks, known as clinker-built, give it strength and flexibility, a design choice that's as much about survival as it is about speed. You note the elegant carvings that adorn the ship, symbols meant to protect and inspire. Yet, as you step aboard, you also appreciate their secondary benefit, providing a semblance of comfort amid functionality. Once underway, though, the realities of the maritime life quickly set in. Packed tightly with fellow warriors, you find yourself shoulder to shoulder with men who exude equal parts bravery and body odour, both unmistakable in their rawness. The seating arrangements are Spartan, simple benches with no backs. There is no shelter from the elements save the sails themselves. When storms rage, the rain lashes you with icy needles, and the wood grows slick and treacherous beneath your feet. Your days are dictated by the rhythmic pull of oars and the unfurling of sails. Each stroke is a concerted effort of muscle and will, a vital part of navigating the often unforgiving waters. When the wind is favourable, it fills the sail, a brief respite from rowing. Staring out at the endless horizon, the landscape might spark daydreams of uncharted territories, yet the ceaseless rocking of the ship does its best to bring you back to the present. Seasickness never entirely leaves you, a queasy reminder of your foreignness to these watery roads. When night falls, the voyage continues beneath the veil of stars. Viking navigators, with a blend of intuition and ancient knowledge, chart your course using celestial bodies and the subtle whispers of the sea. A keen eye must be kept for the position of the sun during the day and the orientation of the North Star at night. While historians still argue whether your ancestors used sunstones for navigation, the current mixture of law and practical astronomy keeps you on your intended path, at least most of the time. Quirky as it sounds, the longship is equipped to sustain life on long journeys. The small spaces between bales of wool and barrels of preserved fish become your pantry. Each meal is a communal ritual, passed from hand to hand with as much laughter as the day allows. It's essential sustenance, not gourmet dining, to ensure you have the strength to carry on the next day's work. In the bows, the occasional beleaguered chicken or round cheese wheel seems cheekily out of place amidst your warrior implements. Despite its discomforts, there's undeniable magic to the longship, a space where camaraderie and shared purpose transform the daily grind into something more. Here, tales of mythical creatures or grand jewels hold court, and the edges of fear blur with the thrill of the unknown. Even practical jokes, small comedic gestures among warriors, grow larger than life, borne on the wave's breadth, each punchline splashed with the salty seas. The ingenious design of the longship speaks to the core of Viking culture, balanced between honour and conquest, discovery and hardship. It echoes with each creak in the timbers and every flutter of the sails. In this unyielding cradle of wood and iron, the spirit of your people endures, resilient, resourceful, and relentlessly in pursuit of greatness. In the ever-shifting dance between man and sea lies the truth of Viking existence. Each voyage, fraught with danger and determination, serves as a reminder of your people's place in history. Bound together by a common purpose, each journey expands the horizon of your world, driven forwards by stories still waiting to be told and lands still waiting to be greeted. As you gaze out across the whitecaps, the call of adventure looms large in your mind, a siren song of exploration wrapped in the promise of tales that will echo long after you've returned to shore. The air is cool, the sky a muted grey overhead, as you prepare for another day in the life of a Viking warrior. Today, the focus is on one of your most essential companions, your armour and weaponry. The feel of cold iron and robust leather in your hands is as familiar as the lines etched upon your palm, reminders of battles fought and journeys completed. Your body protection begins with a simple yet effective garment, a linen tunic layered beneath a sturdy woolen one, each fabric intentionally chosen to offer warmth and a degree of protection. Leather is a luxury you might adorn, adding weight to your attire and slowing you slightly, but essential for turning glancing blows and providing some semblance of defense against the cruel edges of blades. The centerpiece of your armor is the mail shirt, made from interlocking rings crafted with precision and painstaking care. It's a labor-intensive piece of equipment that not every Viking could afford. You wear it as both a badge of honor and a burden. The mail drapes from your shoulders to mid-thigh, each movement accompanied by a soft metallic chime. This mail shirt is as much a fortress as it is a reminder of your mortality, balancing protection with the omnipresent threat of fatigue. It's heavy, tipping upwards of 30 pounds. Your head is safeguarded by an iron helmet, not the horned monstrosity popularized by dramatizations, but a simple domed affair that offers practical protection. The helmet feels like a second skull, awkward and weighty until muscle memory takes over, melding it seamlessly into your movements. It's a vital piece that could deflect death itself on the battlefield. With armor in place, the focus shifts to your weapons, your steel companions. Your primary tool is the sword, often seen as the symbol of your status as a warrior. It is both sleek and deadly, a double-edged marvel of craftsmanship passed down through generations. Each sword tells a story, etched with runes and ornate hilts that speak of battles won and the honor of those who wielded it before you. Should you not possess a sword, an axe, the stalwart companion of many Vikings, becomes your weapon of choice. The axe may lack the prestige of a sword, but it compensates with versatility and durability. Historians still argue whether its appeal lay in its multifunctionality as both a tool and weapon, or simply its efficacy in cutting through enemy armor and shields. Its weight feels comforting in your grip, balanced with the knowledge that each swing carries the promise of life or death. A spear, too, finds a place in your arsenal, a deceptively simple weapon, extending your reach with a sharp iron tip, perfect for both throwing and thrusting. The spear's siren call lies in its balance, a keen friend when battle surges around you, demanding both close combat and distance coordination. History remains divided regarding the development and use of shields, yet their practicality is undisputed in day-to-day weaponry logistics. Your shield is a defensive lifeline, a broad arc of wood rimmed with iron. Painted with motifs or left bare, it is both protection and a literal canvas of identity. Your grip tightens on the wooden handle, bracing for a clash that you hope will only echo today's drills and not the din of live combat. As with learning and maintaining any skill, practicing and repairing your gear are ongoing processes. Battlefield victories rest not on sheer strength alone, but in the mastery of one's equipment, a constant interplay between reliance and resourcefulness. You spend countless hours honing the edges of your weapons, oiling the joints of your mail and testing the integrity of your leather, all tasks that blur the line between duty and survival. Among your peers, each tool is revered, tales whispering of enchanted blades and unbreakable shields circling your evening campfires. There's a sliver of humour embedded in these tales, a recognition that, in the end, it's the warrior, not the weapon, who decides the battle's outcome. The irony in how such stories never mention the aches left by an ill-fitted helm or the unexpected clumsiness inflicted by exhausted limbs after an arduous day is not lost on you. The practice grounds yield a rhythmic song of clashing metal, each practiced movement wrapping you tighter in the folds of tradition and routine. It's a ballet of arms that elevates the mundane to the ceremonial, a choreography shared across centuries, binding you to your past and propelling you into history. As the day draws to a close, the weight of your armor slips from you, as you change into lighter tunics. Relief chasing your shadows in the late evening light. Your fingertips bear the calluses of both a craftsman and a warrior, reminding you that while tools may be wielded at your discretion, their true power lies in their ability to shape not just battles, but destinies. As you calm down and let the adrenaline fade, the realization sinks in. Armor and weaponry are not just physical protectors, but a barrier preserving the hopes and dreams of an entire culture. Alive through each snippet and swing, with the morning mists still clinging to the land, you prepare for what the sagas have immortalized as the quintessential Viking endeavor, the raid. The romanticized notion of plundering riches from foreign shores dances with the darker truth of these ventures. Raiding is a perilous undertaking, demanding not only courage and strength, but ruthless precision and luck. It is a grim necessity, ingrained into the rhythms of your life as a Viking warrior, and today, that routine will test every skill you've honed. The journey begins on the rocking expanse of your longship, your previous familiarity with its confines now serving as a buffer against the churning anxiety in your gut. Every creak of the timbers beneath your feet is a reminder of the fragile line between man and nature. Your fingers wrap instinctively around the oiled haft of your axe, a comforting presence amidst the chaos. Rowing becomes a synchronized dance, each movement pulled from muscle memory as your collective force propels the ship toward the promised horizon. First come the scouts, sent ahead to assess the lay of the land and gauge the nerve of those you intend to surprise. The waiting seeps into every pore, air thick with anticipation. You take a moment to glance at the faces around you, hardened expressions mirroring your own. Each man here knows the stakes. Every hardened jaw is set against the forthcoming storm. There's no room for hesitation, no time to second guess, only the cold grip of destiny guiding your hands. The initial approach is stealthy, your longship slipping silently toward the shore like a whisper. And then action erupts, swift and violent. Speed is your lifeblood, and surprise your greatest ally. You spring from the ship onto unfamiliar sands, feet barely disturbing the earth they meet. The sun's rising light casts long shadows as you bear down on the settlement, an unstoppable force against the sleepy calm of dawn. Alarm horns ripple into the air, but your people are already moving through the throng, pursuing an intricate choreography. Historians still argue whether these tactics mark the Vikings as savages or savants of warfare. The truth, as you experience it, is more complex. It's survival, bold and calculated, where raiding's brutality is balanced by a need for efficiency and precision. Your training rushes back, every move honed on the practice grounds, now playing out in vivid clarity. Blades sing through the air, and the shield wall forms almost instinctively, a lesson learned deep in your bones, reinforced through repetition. Each heartbeat matches the cadence of your comrades, their cries echoing the primal beats of your own pulse. The raid is more than a simple act of violence. It's a desperate gambit where success demands not just brute force, but calculated aggression. Hostages are taken when treasure proves scarce, exchanged later for ransom, and vital resources are gathered with practiced hands. Your people's existence rests on these endeavors, a perilous cycle driven by necessity more than glory. Surprisingly, it's those quiet, momentary details that imprint themselves most deeply into memory later on. The unexpected stubbornness of a locked chest, the persistent bleating of a goat that resists capture, and the abrupt glint of sunlight on a gilded icon all become part of the patchwork recollection long after the conflict fades. Amidst the battle, a touch of the surreal worms its way into your consciousness, a kind of observational humour only adrenaline can spark. A fish, flown from the jerking baskets in a classic historic blooper, taps one of your fellow warriors squarely on the helm, causing an eruption of incredulous laughter even amidst the chaos. Raids, however, do not linger long. The risk of overstaying is too great, and as suddenly as it begins, the foray concludes. The call goes up, the signal for retreat, and you double back to your seaborne sanctuary. You heft your spoils, whatever you hold clutch to your chest or dragging at your feet, and waste no time in getting back aboard. As your fingers find purchase on the ship's timbers, you vault over the side, joined by your kin whose own burdens reflect the raid's success. The sails are unfurled and the rowing begins anew. The land falls away, swallowed by waves, its former tranquility now a memory shadowed by your tempestuous visit. In the silence that follows, as exhaustion pulls at your limbs and the adrenaline wanes, your thoughts drift between the stark realities of raiding and the narrated glories so often recited. The echoes of triumph are tempered with a unifying drive, a communal purpose that aligns each stroke of the oar and every breath shared between you. Your people's chronicles will tell of today, weaving its story into the fabric of history, ensuring your actions, both great and small, resonate far beyond the horizon swallowed by the setting sun. The raid dims, a fading echo of conflict against the soothing rhythm of the seas. As you step onto the familiar ground of your settlement, the air welcomes you with a scent of earth and hearth smoke. Here, in the place you call home, life mirrors the duality of Viking existence, a blend of community and individuality, labour and resilience. Settling in after a raid, you are reminded that the strength of the Vikings lay not just in their prowess in battle, but in the fortitude of the communities they built, foundations of civilization etched into landscapes as enduring as the stories they told. Life in a Viking settlement is a constant flurry of activity. The majority of time is spent tending to the very personal elements of life, but still shared with everyone around you. Your days begin early, the sun a sleepy companion as you rise to chores that knit the tapestry of daily life. Fields to plough, animals to care for, and homes to repair. Each task, though repetitive, holds a rhythm and purpose, driving the pulse of the village. Your own home, like others around you, is a longhouse, a wooden frame fortified with mud and peat designed to withstand the elements. The hearth commands the heart of your home, its fire a constant sentinel against the chill creeping through cracks and seams. Despite the cold reality of your environment, the longhouse is a hub of warmth and social interaction, sheltering extended family, gathered animals, and even the looming spectre of history within its planks. Privacy, however, is a rare luxury. Families live closely, with up to 30 kinfolk sharing a space where the line between personal and communal blurs. Curtains and drapes create makeshift rooms, offering a semblance of solitude amidst the clamour. The cacophony of shared life is endlessly busy, a chorus of voices, laughter and arguments that punctuate your days and echo through the smoke-filled rafters. Yet, it is these very connections that form the bedrock of Viking society. You gather at long benches around a central table, sharing meals and exchanging tales, often exaggerated accounts of bravery and camaraderie. A smoke curls upward, dissolving into the dark thatch above. These moments of connection sustain your spirit and remind you that together, your community is stronger, an indomitable force honed through generations. At the village centre, a bustling marketplace hums with energy. Here, settlers barter and exchange goods, your silver arm ring clinking as you trade salted fish, mead, or woven cloth for items otherwise scarce. Vendors line the paths, their spirited haggling a delightful dance of wit and negotiation that echoes long after quarrels subside. Historians still argue over the extent to which Vikings traded versus pillaged. Yet within this ebb and flow of trade emerges a critical rhythm that nourishes your people, binding you to other communities and establishing roots across both known and uncharted seas. Living here means embracing the bonds of interdependence, not only within your own village, but extending to the broader Norse world, a scatter of settlements across lands old and distant, all touched by the same winds and tradition. In these connections lies your survival. The knowledge shared and resources exchanged forge a network as resilient as any of the sagas sung on winter nights. Quirky details pop up in daily life, fashioning a unique rhythm peculiar to your time. For instance, you see an eager association with animals within settlements. Cats, notorious for gracing the laps of the curious and the cunning, serve not just as beloved companions but as efficient vermin hunters. An endearing simplicity that balances your often tumultuous existence. Even the children carve out their niche, participating in household chores and learning the arts and crafts inherent to your way of life. The young ones play their own games amid the seriousness of adult labours, mock battles mimicking the sagas they are recounted. Laughter is a constant backdrop to the thud of wooden swords and the enthusiastic retelling of gods and heroes. The seasons govern your existence, etching their signature upon your homeland with each passing phase. Harsh winters blanket the land in silence and white, demanding a retreat to the warmth of your communal hearths. In this season of enforced togetherness, stories are shared, skills taught, and bonds reinforced. When summer arrives, its long days unfurl with renewed energy. Fields brim with life and boats set sail for far-off ventures, spurred onwards by the lengthening light. As twilight settles over the village yet again, the echoes of collective labour drift into stillness. You rest your weary limbs, reflections of a world both exhausting and enchanted weaving through your dreams. Within the embrace of your settlement, you find the essence of what it means to be bound to both land and law, a pursuit of balance between personal and shared, familiarity shot through with mystery. The Viking settlement is a living testament to the enduring strength of community, a legacy anchored by the threads of history woven into the fabric of everyday life. As the seasons continue their relentless cycle, you find yourself deeply embedded within the rigid social hierarchy that marks Viking life, a structure as precisely arranged as the stones of a longhouse foundation. This hierarchy defines not just your place in society, but your destiny and your dreams, shaping your interactions, ambitions, and even your hopes for the future. Though it lacks the formalities of contemporary systems, its unyielding complexity offers as much stability as it does constraint, delicately balancing power and privilege on its multifaceted tiers. At the very top of this structure sits the chieftain, your village's leader and a figure of immense stature. His word is law, his wealth and success reflecting the community's prosperity. As he presides over clan gatherings with an air of authority, bordered by charisma, his decision-making extends into every facet of life. You understand that the chieftain is as much a caretaker of the people as a ruler, his prowess both a weapon and a responsibility, maintaining the tenuous balance of peace and power. Below the chieftains lie the jarls and landowners, comfortable in their roles as intermediaries. These individuals manage tracts of land, orchestrate trade, and ensure the protection of their lesser-ranked counterparts. They too wield influence, falling just short of direct command, yet intricately involved in the social ecosystem. Next come the Carl-class freemen like yourself, who form the backbone of the Viking community. Despite the absence of noble title or extraordinary wealth, Carls are critical to the everyday functions that sustain society. You own land, run small farms, or forge metal into tools and weapons, forming an industrious hub within the social wheel. Your voice, though lesser than those above, is not without respect. Every action you perform contributes to the prosperity of your community. It is among this Ishalic society that fierce rivalries and profound camaraderie intertwine. On the one hand, the fierce independence cherished by Vikings creates a culture of competition. Battles of wit and strength crop up both on and off the field, with success and renown as the ultimate goals. However, the sense of kinship and duty fostered by these ranks keep you collectively rallied around a shared purpose. Historians still argue about the dynamics of social mobility within Viking society. While the hierarchy appears inflexible, there exists some possibility of ascension. Through marriage, success in trade, or distinguished valor in battle, a determined individual may see fortunes shift, climbing the societal ladder like the winding traces of a saga's tale. Social ambitions are woven tightly into the day-to-day, where fortunes might rise with the tide or tumble alongside a missed spear thrust. Beneath the Carls lie the thralls, the bonded individuals conducting much of the manual labour integral to Norse life. Viewed as property but valued as people, thralls form the foundation upon which your society firmly sits, their lives dictated by the whims of their owners. Freed by the savvy use of wit, skill, or favour, the dream of liberty drums ever persistent, its cadence inescapable. Such freedom, though tantalizingly attainable, remains ever the exception, not the rule. Despite its imperfections and rigid frames, there is a vibrant interplay within these ranks, a colourful weave characterized by familial ties and sprawling networks of alliances. These associations are essential, mending gaps that royal proclamations or titles alone cannot bridge. One quirky concept tied to Viking social life is the practice of flighting, a boastful verbal sparring that serves both as entertainment and as a means to resolve conflict. Among your peers, flighting matches resemble a proto-rap battle, where sharp wit and silver-tongued retorts measure both intellect and honour, albeit in a decidedly less life-threatening manner than the battlefield might offer. In contrast, a significant feature of hierarchy is the role of women, who enjoy a surprising degree of autonomy and influence, Among their duties is managing farms and trading when men are away, as well as running households with a keen pragmatism that underscores their importance. Women's abilities to hold property and secure divorces stretch the boundaries frequently set elsewhere in history. While women rarely achieve the stature or power of men, their value to societal function is evident in both the efficiency of their work and the respect accorded to their judgments. As the day draws to a close, you find yourself reflecting once more on your place within this intricate social web. Whether vying for a champion's glory, perfecting your trade, or nurturing the bonds of kinship that envelop you, there is purpose here in both rest and toil, in fealty and freedom. The Viking social hierarchy is as steady as the North Star, and yet it pulsates with life, shaping paths and expanding legends. Its structure binds your destiny to countless others, each tale a thread distinct yet vital, weaving the rich, enduring tapestry that is Viking civilization. As the hearth's glow wanes beneath an ink-black sky, the confidence of your position, precariously held, rocks you gently towards sleep, ever mindful of the way your narrative steers tomorrow anew. As the northern sun lazily rises, you find yourself embroiled in an intriguing element of Viking lore: women warriors. The stories of shield maidens, women who defied conventional domestic roles to take up arms and fight alongside men, continue to ignite discussions like sparks on kindling, weaving reality and legend into a vivid tapestry. Here, in the heart of Viking society, you ponder the place these women hold, not only in saga and fable, but in the living world around you. Shield maidens capture the imagination with accounts of fierce heroines who fearlessly donned armor and wielded weapons. They appear strikingly in tales, their martial prowess painting them larger than life, the likes of Lagertha and Brynhild towering in the annals of Norse mythology. Yet your curiosity piques whether these stories mirror reality or artful embellishments that grew with the telling, much like a polished stone smoothed by swift currents. You see traces of truth in everyday life, where women partake in activities outside accepted norms elsewhere. With their freedom to own land, demand divorces, and manage affairs during men's absences, women command influence and independence rarely granted in other parts of medieval Europe. Could it be then that these tales of warrior women are sparked by rare yet inspiring counterparts within your own realm? Historians still argue over the extent of women's participation in warfare. While significant archaeological finds support such theories, the evidence remains incomplete, challenged by missing or misinterpreted pieces. For instance, the discovery of a grand Viking burial in Birka, filled with weapons and warrior regalia and long thought to belong to a man, turned out to be the final resting place of a woman, sparking fierce debate, whether isolated outlier or emblem of a hidden ethos. Such revelations tug against the strands of time to unveil new truths. In your settlement, you observe women skilled in arms through necessity and survival. They are more than capable of defending home and hearth, their agility honed as they serve as sentinels of the village during raids. Among them, some may also join voyages, not as warriors necessarily, but as integral cogs in the grand engine of exploration, crafting paths across icy waters and distant lands. The phenomenon of shield maidens intrigues, offering both respect and inspiration. Even if they are fewer in number than legend claims, their stories contribute to the rich tapestry of Viking culture, where strength isn't defined solely by physical might, but by the ability to bend tradition without breaking it. A well-loved anecdote tells of a hornblower at the front lines of battle. If women joined combat, it was not just in the shadows of warriors, but shoulder to shoulder among them. The sound of a woman's horn, traditionally seen as symbolic of home and hearth, echoing across the battlefield, would reverberate through enemies' ranks, a sound fierce with purpose and heritage, wielded proudly. Within your settlement, such tales are celebrated and shared, threads of wonder and empowerment that drape around campfires or whispered beneath the glow of twilight. Curious children listen wide-eyed, absorbing narratives that both challenge and expand their understanding of roles, of what it means to be a warrior, and the multifaceted spectrum of strength. Quirky elements pop up in the retellings, painting a picture as dynamic as you who listen. Women wrestle wild beasts in jesting competitions, turning strength into both necessity and entertainment. These captive audiences grow, sparked by the notion that anyone can carve out their chapter, whether wielding a shield or spinning a loom. As the conversation flows back to the tasks of daily life, you recognize that the legend of the Shield Maiden encapsulates not just the daring spirit of the Vikings, but reflects societal values, both pragmatic and progressive. In celebrating these defiant figures, whether real or imagined, the Viking spirit acknowledges courage, adaptability, and the shared responsibility shouldered by all people. Amidst the rigors of the day, you revisit these stories, letting the legends of shield maidens thread seamlessly into your own narrative. Whether their silhouettes stand firm on mist-laden battlegrounds or light homes with laughter, nor your sagas shape the course of history, resounding still, like the call of an ancient horn long after its echo has faded. As the flickering light of dusk envelops your settlement, an air of reverence takes hold, turning your thoughts towards the spiritual tapestry that infuses every facet of Viking life. Religion and ritual are as intrinsic to your existence as the turning of the seasons, an ever-present harmony beneath the apparent chaos. The gods and their deeds weave through the daily grind and lofty ambitions, offering both guidance and consolation in a world teeming with uncertainty and danger. Central to this spiritual framework stands Odin, the All-Father, who sacrifices his eye for wisdom, a stark reminder of the price of knowledge. Then follows Thor, the thunderous protector, in whom you find the dependable strength and courage to overcome adversity. Loki exists as a trickster, whose boundless mischief ensnares the unwary with deception and humour, a figure both feared and pitied. Each god embodies traits that resonate through your life, grounding you within an elaborate mythos, where destiny weaves its intricate dance. Religion behaves much as a living, breathing entity, each fragment of saga and lore a spark in the collective consciousness of the Norse people. Rituals and omens permeate the everyday, fostering an unwavering respect for the unknown. Gathered in the darkness of winter nights, you listen intently as coins tossed to invoke divine favour illuminate the fate of heroes and mortals alike, whether narrating legendary battles or midnight journeys across star-laden seas. Perhaps most fascinating is the Vikings' integration of the supernatural within their understanding of the world. Rituals belong not just to the grand and glorious, but to the mundane. A sacrifice offered to ensure a bountiful harvest, a quiet prayer for safe passage across treacherous waters, or gratitude whispered on firs before retiring to sleep. The blood of animals, believed to preserve and nourish, finds itself splattered upon sacred stones and wooden totems, vibrant red against the earthy tones where offerings speak silently of fealty and hope. Such sacrifices shock the senses of outsiders, who witness them as gruesome rather than sacrosanct, struggling to reconcile the violent beauty of these customs with the mythology of noble warriors. Historians still argue whether such rituals were truly as prevalent as the Viking sagas suggest, or mere fabrications of creative storytelling. Yet, for those immersed within this realm, the visceral aspect of such offerings affirms a connection with forces beyond mortality, a pledge of faith to unseen worlds and deities. Amidst these reflections lie the famous burial rites that transform death into a journey rather than an end. A Viking burial, whether conducted by fire upon a pyre or interment within ancient barrows, carries profound significance. Chieftains and esteemed warriors are ceremoniously bid farewell, their bodies adorned with treasures, weapons clutched to their chests, as they embark upon their passage to Valhalla. Legends tell that the afterlife promises endless feasts and valour, a reward for bravery and sacrifice upon Midgard's soil. One curious practice observed is that of the horse sacrifice, where a beloved steed follows its master to another world, such traditions raising eyebrows and provoking whispers even among your kind. Yet, beneath the solemnity of these rites, lies a tender acknowledgement that life and death remain intimately entwined, an elegant equilibrium binding both earthly and ethereal realms. A unique tidbit worth mentioning finds its expression in seers, far-seeing individuals who interpret visions and dreams. Amid the populace are those revered for their connection to the divine, their insights regarded as declarations from otherworldly places, perceptive glimpses of what's hidden beyond the veil. Their presence offers riddles and puzzles you must untangle to understand your place within the tapestry woven by the Norn's far-reaching hands. Around sagas sung above mead-soaked benches, the air settles thick as mist, rich as time, encompassing the multitude of faith and spirituality that defines Viking culture. Through the lens of history, you witness how ritualistic practices reflect the soul of your people, striving for meaning, bridging the gap between known worlds and cosmic mysteries. Flickering shadows waltz into the night as the fires dim, their embers echoing whispered incantations of "this evening now spent." Rituals and beliefs fold into the folds of everyday life, a reminder of connections with both ancient gods and fellow man. As you drift towards sleep, comforted by these stories of spiritual kinship, the cadence of everything divine whispers softly to you, still unbroken, unyielding, an everlasting chord in the symphony of Viking existence. The morning dawns with a chill that bites at your skin and quickens your step as you ready yourself for the grim reality of Viking combat. Stories of valor and glory paint grand pictures of battle as the ultimate proving ground. But these tales only hint at the multifaceted nature of warfare, a bloody, chaotic tableau where the price of both victory and defeat is weighed against the backdrop of mortality. You stand among your fellow warriors, each bearing expressions that fluctuate between stoic resolve and a glimmer of fierce anticipation. The jingle of chainmail mingles with the muted clatter of swords and axes, a prelude to the storm that is to come. Your heart drums a steady rhythm, adrenaline coursing through your veins, amplifying both your senses and the weight of the moments to come. As you advance toward the battlefield, trepidation threads through the air. It shimmers like the mists, casting fleeting shadows across your path, leaving behind a somber awareness of the scale of the violence ahead. Warfare is seldom the noble clash depicted in melodious sagas. Rather, it unfolds with a chaotic ferocity, a frenzied dance of life and death, where you are part of an intricate tapestry, intertwined with those who fight beside you. The ground beneath your feet is slick with mud and laden with the echoes of countless footsteps. The smell of damp earth mingles with the tang of sweat and fear, creating an ambient perfume of humanity at its most primal. The battlefield stretches before you, a vast, undulating space ready to bear witness to the grim ballet of battle. Engagement is sudden, explosive. As battle erupts, your senses are engulfed by the visceral reality of combat. The clash of iron on iron reverberates through your bones, a rhythmic chant that drives the heart and mind to razor focus. Each movement becomes an exercise of survival. Instinct and training collide in an effort to preserve your fragile hold upon life. Combat unfolds not as a simple match between foes, but as a test of adaptability, a ruthless chess game played out on a scale as epic as it is personal. Flashes of color punctuate the scenery, a battle standard unfurled here or a plume of blood shimmering in the light there. Amidst the distinctive cacophony, you discern the raw, unfiltered cry of anguish, a stark reminder of the stakes. Historians still argue whether Viking tactics were merely improvisational or a testament to strategic brilliance. In battle, formations morph swiftly, fluidly transforming between shield walls that repel onslaughts and swarming hordes that venerate chaos. Your own role shifts as swiftly, adapting to the ever-changing currents of conflict, sometimes standing firm, at others surging forward in a bid to claim the upper hand. In the midst of such brutal reality, a strange humour surfaces, moments both peculiar and poignant. You witness a distracted warrior springing back at the tickling touch of a gentle breeze on their neck, only to unleash a battle cry half foe, half fervour. Perched on the precipice of fear and survival, humour finds itself stitched into the weaver mechanism that offers both relief and a tenuous embrace of mortality's touch. The intricacies of Viking combat do not solely rest within the melee, but extend into the psychological terrain as well. In the retelling of encounters, the whisper of fame and reputation looms large, a fantastical echo that reverberates long after the swords have been sheathed. Your own actions may someday transform into stories, shared by hearth fires and passed down to future generations, a legacy chiseled into the scrolls of time. As the battle wanes, you stand amidst the remnants of conflict, a tableau punctuated by stillness and exhaustion. The once deafening roar of engagement has dwindled to murmurs and whispers, a hushed chorus heard across the scarred terrain. You scan your surroundings, seeking familiar faces among the teeming shadows, relieved at everyone you find still standing. Victory and loss intermingle in this liminal space, leaving behind an etching of gratitude and sorrow in equal measure. The battlefield, a bleak canvas for both tragedy and triumph, carries its own scars, indelible as the marks left upon your soul. In these moments you reflect upon the layered complexity of combat, not merely as a test of arms, but as a stage upon which destiny and eternity intersect. As the campfires take light against the backdrop of twilight, you gather with your kin, reflection joining the ranks of the night's vigil. Beneath the vast, star-dotted sky, you find solace in your continued existence. Penning the epilogue of the day amidst the smoky curls from the crackling wood, it is here, where the echoes of combat fade to whispers, that the seeds of stories yet to unfold are sown into the collective memory of your people, a legacy both tangible and ephemeral, wielded by a warrior's hand. In this acknowledgement of what it truly means to wage war, you realize that it is not only combat that defines you as a warrior, but the understanding that you are but one voice in a harmonic tapestry where the indomitable spirit of every Viking lives on. Sleep approaches as the fires dim, and in the gentle embrace of slumber you surrender to the night. Safe, for now, within the enduring arms of your people and tales yet to be spun. As dawn casts its soft golden light over your settlement, you prepare for a journey that will take you far beyond the familiar confines of home. Navigation, the lifeline of any Viking expedition, waits to test both ingenuity and courage in equal measure. With only the vastness of the sea stretching out before you, the horizon becomes both guide and challenger, a boundless arena where the art and science of finding your way intersect. Within the realm of the Norse, navigation is an intricate dance of celestial guidance and superstitious lore. The sun, moon, and stars serve as your compass, their positions in the sky your constant reference points upon the open seas. As your longship leans into the waves, the creak of the timbers intermingles with the rhythmic slap of water against the hull, creating a symphony of exploration unique to your time and people. Your eyes cast skyward, seeking out the familiar figures that dwell in your astral map. The North Star reigns supreme as your steadfast guide, anchored in its place as the heavens turn above you, a beacon of constancy amidst swirling chaos. During daylight, the sun's arc across the sky offers clues to latitude, informed by the shadows it crafts upon your boat and the angles it sows upon your course. Historians still argue whether the fabled sunstones were actual tools used by your ancestors, said to reveal the sun's position even when shrouded by cloud or murk. A curious wonder, the sunstone tantalizes both scholars and seafarers, its intellectual allure rivaling the tangible marvels of the longship itself. Though celestial navigation offers the framework you need, Viking intuition leans heavily upon nature's whispers for further guidance. Seabirds' patterns speak to the salty tongues of your ancestors, who've learned to read their maritime messages like a book. The flight of birds back and forth from land hints at distances unseen, providing invisible cords connecting islands to the greater tapestry of the world. Traditional navigation augments itself, with uncommon reliance upon the sea's breathing. The gentle shifts in wind direction or the currents hum through the water weave their voices into the hymn of passage, annulling any sense of isolation and reminding you that you remain tethered to the earth's rhythms, even at sea. A touch quirkier yet is your reliance upon folklore to guide you, crafting protean mythologies to fill the gaps in understanding. Legends of sea monsters churning restless beneath the waves, or guardian spirits who bless voyages may infuse your journey with both caution and valor. Among your peers, speculation abounds about the sounds heard late at night, as if echoes from the deep call to your fears and dreams. As the daylight drifts to twilight, the world slowly inverts itself, a sky alight with starfire map lines, as immediate and critical as any footpath wound across solid ground. The constellations become your storytellers, elaborate in design, recalling the tales of Norse heroes and events long past. Familiar patterns like the Great Bear or other northern vignettes agilely mark your course as your companions, transforming unknown expanses into navigable terrain. You navigate not only the seas but the threads of your identity as a Viking, an explorer stretching beyond known boundaries into unexplored realms. Each successful voyage stitches its own narrative into the tapestry of your people, driving further and farther from the home shores, forging links across the lands through trade, exploration, and the impact of cultures mingling. The sea becomes your liminal space, bridging Norse territories with distant realms. By day's end, you realize that navigating the complex weave of stars and sea imparts a new worldview, as horizons stretch beyond sight, edging into realms rich with unfound potential and uncharted myths. In the onset of evening, the growing quiet folds around your vessel like a velvet shroud, cradling in its depth the strength of long-lost dreams. The gentle lapping of waves against your ship rocks you softly, like a lullaby of the ancients whose paths paved yours. As you succumb to sleep, guided only by the celestial sentinels above, thus continues this journey, a cycle of continuity leading seemingly beyond time or limits. You rest, leaving behind a world untouched by metaphor and steeped in the essence of human endeavour and divine guidance alive, as ever, in the endless search for the unknown. As dawn breaks and the mists of the sea gradually recede, you find yourself reflecting on a concept deeply embedded in the Viking psyche: reputation. In your world, reputation is a currency more valuable than any hoarded silver, a force that drives actions, steers ambitions, and cements legacies within the communal consciousness of your people. From early childhood, you learn that your standing within the community is a thing to be nurtured and protected. It is a reflection of your deeds, your honour, and your relationship with those around you. Every interaction, every choice is weighed against this invisible scale, ensuring that your name will be spoken of with respect and admiration long after your years have passed. This emphasis on reputation manifests in countless ways, shaping the foundations of your community and colouring the interactions that occur within it. It influences decisions made during council gatherings, guiding the hands of those who speak and determining the outcome of disputes or discussions. Your leaders are as much custodians of their own reputations as they are your community, using their renown as leverage in the complex dance of diplomacy and leadership. Among your peers, tales of heroism and triumph abound, a vibrant oral history shared around flickering hearths and festive mead halls. These stories are more than mere entertainment. They are lessons passed down through generations, reinforcing values of bravery, resilience, and cunning. You listen intently as the bard spins his tale, each inflection and pause crafting a tapestry that illuminates the feats of your forebears. It is in this sharing of stories that reputations are both made and remembered, the spoken word becoming a powerful tool in the Viking world. The open landscape of sharing such tales creates a fertile ground for both inspiration and competition, as individuals seek to carve their niche within the sweeping narrative. Your ambition is not merely to select gold or plunder. Rather, it is to ensure that your story is threaded among the great tapestries that bind your community. Whether through daring raids or masterful negotiations, being remembered becomes a prize worth pursuing. Historians still argue whether the driving force behind Viking expansion lay in their quest for riches or the relentless pursuit of fame. As you stand upon the shores gazing toward distant horizons, it is clear that the pursuit of reputation deserves its rightful place in history. The journey between known and unknown realms speaks to a deeper longing that surpasses material wealth, perhaps suggesting that with each voyage your people indeed sought glory on the world's stage. An amusing contrast often emerges among yourselves, a fondness for embellishing stories, painting symbolic ornamentation upon what may have been mundane deeds. Tall tales grow even taller with each retelling. Within the safety of the settlement, this gentle fabrication functions as a game, a dance of imagination and creativity that bonds your people together. Among friends, you learn to strike a balance between truth and fiction, ensuring that each yarn threads justice into memory without losing its embedded essence. Sometimes, the peculiarities of reputation spark intrigue. Consider the tradition of the Nijbert, a biting verbal insult that, if left unanswered, threatens your honour. To avoid being shamed, you step carefully, as this public challenge offers ceremonial high stakes, diffusing confrontation through dark humour and wit rather than steel alone. It's a dizzying blend of diplomacy entwined in the art of words, an exercise of both caution and courage. Despite the cultural weight of reputation, the expectations it spawns never conscript solely to men. Women, too, cultivate their reputations through acts of strength and wisdom, influencing families and broader Viking society. Their legacies are built through deft management of households, land, or trade, offering further insight into the richness of their existence within this otherwise rugged world. As you're reminded in the fading gold hues of another day, reputation shapes your identity, the contours of its silhouette reaching past your lifetime. It is a construct defined by tangible achievements and intangible moments, protean as the seas you navigate. One day your name will echo through the memories of future generations, preserving your narrative in the annals of Norse lore. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows through your settlement, the tales of reputation weave anew among families gathered around fireplaces. The embers flicker, dancing to the music of voices, and you feel a profound awareness of the continuing voyage of life, a brief yet vibrant shimmer upon the still expanse of time, as remains your enduring legacy. In the warmth of camaraderie, contentment settles in, and dreams yet to come play a soft harmony beside your waking reminiscence. The sun rises over the horizon, casting a golden hue over the bustling scene of your settlement's marketplace. Amid the clamour and hubbub lies the heartbeat of your connection to the wider world, a vibrant testament to the intricate web of trade that underpins your Viking community. It's a lifeline woven with the threads of necessity, ambition, and human curiosity, a dance of exchanges that stretches across seas and continents. Trade offers a crucial counterbalance to the more aggressive aspects of Viking life. The pursuit of commerce propels you and your kin beyond the reaches of your homelands, tempting exploration and forging alliances where once there might have been conflict. Through trade, material wealth and cultural exchange intertwine, offering both prosperity and a broader understanding of the world. As you wander through the market, the air buzzes with the rich aroma of spices mingling with the earthy scent of leather and wool. Here, the fruits of far-flung voyages are displayed ahead of you, an array of goods that speaks to the diversity of your interconnected realm. From silks that shimmer in the light, to rich amber teardrops glowing against rough-hewn wooden stalls, the marketplace is a vibrant tapestry, reflecting both the beauty and complexity of your endeavours. In the interactive melee of barter, you witness the exchange of both tangible items and stories, each transaction a thread in the fabric of history. Silver coins, hacked into usable pieces, clink in calloused palms. Wooden scales creak under the delicate weight of gold jewellery, and weighty arm rings exchange hands, symbols of honour, trust, and prosperity amidst every deal. Trade introduces a plethora of goods beyond mere sustenance, luxuries as enticing as they are tangible. Among your prized acquisitions, the velvety tang of wine offers a temporary escape into treasured realms. The taste of olives, dried fruits, and exotic spices enhances your diet, transforming humble meals into feasts for the senses. Even your clothing evolves, incorporating foreign fabrics that adorn your tunics and lend a touch of distinction. Yet, the heart of trade lies in more than these luxuries. The foundational elements of your society, iron ore, timber, livestock, fishing-shore, your people thrive. You understand that without these essential commodities, your society would falter, leaving your settlements beleaguered beneath the weight of challenges reality imposes. You become aware of how historians still argue over whether Vikings were primarily traders or raiders, yet in this moment, the truth reveals itself as both intertwined and essential. Your people have always straddled a dynamic frontier between the necessity of survival and the desire for wealth, crafting a duality in which each pursuit supports and fuels the other. The relationships forged by trade create not only riches, but understanding, meshing cultures and fates around the sweeping arc of the globe. Unexpectedly, the market experiences quirkier exchanges as well, a space where human curiosity reaps its own harvest. Merchants peddle peculiar artifacts, supposedly imbued with mystical properties. Runestones etched with esoteric symbols promise wisdom in a language otherworldly. Here, humour meets commerce, a space where tall tales rise like morning mist, and each new account adds a layer to the collective mirth. Standing upon this nexus of commerce, the individual becomes part of something vastly larger than his own footprint, a grand network where paths intersect and stories are shared. Whether the merchant is seasoned or novice, each adds nuances to the intricate design of cultural evolution that flows ceaselessly through the Viking tapestry. With a keen eye, you observe that women actively participate in this vibrant economy. Their pragmatic resourcefulness evident in the operation of stalls brimming with fabrics, yarns, and other goods. Their presence within these bustling quarters underscores the breadth of their influence and their vital role as arbiters of exchange and community. As the day stretches toward its golden climax, enveloping you and your surroundings, the sense of satisfaction at what has been negotiated and navigated begins to build within you. The setting sun casts amber rays over the marketplace, as merchants begin tallying their day's successes. Returning home with your newly acquired bounty, you reflect on the meaning of this interconnectedness, where each transaction signifies not only the physical exchange of goods, but an intangible bridge between peoples. You contribute, standing firm upon the traditions gifted by those before you, while building your own paths for those who will come after. The marketplace grows quiet as night envelops the earth, the busy hubbub replaced by the soft murmur of the sea breezes as they flow through the trees, kissing every leaf with gentle whispers. In the lull of twilight, you recognize that the rhythms of trade echo the comforting cadence of home, binding you and your community, past, present, and future, rock solid against the bindings of time and tide. As you ease into rest beneath the gentle embrace of night, the dreams of new voyages and adventures fill your mind, and the endless cycle of trade spins ever onward, guiding you into the realms of sleep. As the year progresses and the days grow shorter, you find yourself on the threshold of winter, a time when the world is draped in the quiet cloak of snow and ice, an infinite stretch of white against an iron-grey sky. The once boisterous energy of summer raids and full trading fairs gives way to a different kind of struggle, the challenge of enduring the long, harsh winter with fortitude and resilience. Your breath hangs in the chilly air as you move through the settlement, the familiar landscape now transformed into an otherworldly vista of glistening ice and frost. The demands of everyday life shift. Survival takes precedence, driving you to industrious preparation alongside your kin. It is a dance on the knife's edge between scarcity and stratagem, where the endurance of body and spirit sees you through nature's trials. What sustains your people is a keen understanding of the seasonal cycle, one honed over generations to ensure that caches of food and resources extend through these lean months. The halls of your longhouse fill with the rich scents of smoked and salted meats, preserved vegetables, and stockpiled grains that sustain both appetite and hope. Each meal becomes an intricate balance of nourishment, a careful stewardship of sustenance, until spring breathes life back into the land. With resources constrained, the need for resourcefulness sparks a unique creativity. Midwinter finds you layering clothing thick and warming, a patchwork of woolen tunics, animal pelts, and furs, carefully fashioned for warmth. Each piece of clothing tells of diligent ingenuity, a quilt of the tried and true, passed down amidst whispered advice from those who have weathered many winters before. It is a practical necessity mingled with ornamental pride, imbued with the imagination of generations. Despite your vigilant preparation, winter's omnipresence is daunting. The bitter cold seeps into every crevice, frost shimmering against glassy window panes, a reminder of the world waiting beyond. The challenges of winter test your physical endurance, each day urging you to remain in motion and productivity, driving you through routine chores with nuanced persistence. In the heart of your longhouse, however, the trials of winter unfold not just as a harsh reality, but as a tapestry hung with moments of warmth and camaraderie. Gathering around the hearth, you join your kin in weaving stories and traditions together in a cozy embrace. Songs echo long through the winter nights, their harmonious notes painting joy upon canvases otherwise stagnant and white. Interestingly, historians still argue whether these songs stemmed from a foundation of seasonal pastime or deep spiritual practice. Yet one cannot ignore the comfort gifted by stories of heroes and gods that lighten the spirits, enshrining ephemeral laughter into the tapestry of winter events. Games and contests fill evenings with echoes of clattering dice and jubilant laughter as the fire crackles and the warm glow reflects upon your companions' faces. Your longhouse transforms into a haven against the backdrop of the chill, insulating and intimate, the stories becoming shared memories. It's here that quirky traditions emerge, offering both entertainment and hearty competition in equal measure. Wrestling matches conducted upon icy floors, or the impromptu challenges sketched out on frozen ponds, convey a sense of play amidst adversity. These games cultivate not only warmth in chilled veins, but a rare levity that draws you together, even as the snowflakes swirl outside. Despite the cold, life persists. In the stillness of an optically deceiving landscape, a small miracle of survival presents itself. With the birth of livestock and the stubborn persistence of hardy root vegetables eking life from hardened earth, the persistence of living imparted a vital lesson into your people's resilience, marking every choice as a testament to growth. Winter is a portal to introspection, a time for mending and repair, Tools, weapons, and garments alike undergo meticulous care, each careful touch an investment in the seasons to follow. Whether it is tending to the edges of your sword or the stitches of your cloak, your actions weave tomorrow's fortune with what is forged today. The concerted focus upon these tasks matures into a meditation on transition, culminating in your readiness to embrace spring's eventual vivacity. As the cold stars glitter aloft in the velvet dome above, you find yourself drawn into the gentle arms of sleep, safely nestled amidst the lingering warmth of your ancestors' lessons. Winter's silence envelops you like a blanket, encouraging the seeds of dreams to unfurl, while the nightly rhythm yet to come croons a quiet lullaby. In the depths of winter, a paradox sustains. A time airy with paradoxical lightness, where the bounds of community tether hearts midst solitude. Here, where survival meets continuity and endurance, you learn winter's true gift. Resilience learned, histories born, and the continuity of spirit nurtured through even the darkest night. As the flurries whisper through the fading light, your thoughts turn towards the promise of spring. A fresh start burgeoning within the relentless flow of time. As the frost persists and the air remains tinged with the sharpness of winter, you are reminded of the complex system of law and order that governs Viking society. In this world defined by survival and honor, the legal structures are both a reflection of the cultural values and a necessary mechanism to maintain peace within the community. The Viking justice system is at once swift and severe, embodying a balance of fairness and ferocity. At the heart of this legal framework stands the Thing, the assembly held periodically to address disputes, forge alliances, and uphold laws. It is here, in the open air, where grievances are aired and justice is sought. The Thing serves as a vital community gathering, fostering a shared understanding of both the laws that govern you and the expectations that bind your society. With the murmur of voices blending into a tapestry of sound, the Thing unfolds as a stage for both public debate and personal resolve. Here, leaders and elders convene, their authority grounded not in absolute rule, but in the respect and consensus of their peers. These sessions are often imbued with a theatrical flair, where oratory skills come to the fore, and the ability to persuade carries considerable weight. Within this forum, you find yourself guided by both leges barbarorum, the custom of the people, and unwritten commandments passed down through generations. Theft, murder, and betrayal are the primary offences, met with punitive resolve. Penalties designed to restore the fractured harmony of the community and deter wrongful actions in the future. Interestingly, law and punishment are driven by practical necessity rather than philosophical doctrine. For minor offences, fines are typically imposed, often in the form of compensation known as wergild. This payment serves as restitution to the wronged party, a tangible acknowledgement of wrongdoing, and a step toward restoring balance. However, more grievous transgressions incur harsher consequences. The concept of outlawry, for instance, thrums with fearsome implications. An outlaw is cast beyond the sheltering society, stripped of protection and rights, forced to fend against both natural elements and human adversaries. In this construct, a curious mix of justice and survival hinges upon ingenuity, as an outlaw's fate is often sealed by public consensus and social ostracism. Historians still explore the legal nuances ensnaring the Viking mind. The physical absence of written laws suggests an oral tradition fostering remarkable flexibility and evolving through intricate storytelling, a continuity expressed through word rather than script. From one winter's tale to the next, the essence of justice is chiselled in snowdrifts and hearth fires, alive within the breath of memory. From the shadows of legality emerge unique and lighter practices. The practice of holmganga, or duel, reflects quirky aspects of reparative justice. This ritualistic concept frames a trial by combat as an arbiter of truth, where honour and courage stand at the threshold of resolution. Within this arena, witnesses gather, not as passive observers, but as active participants in judgment's sway. Despite its harshness, the system embraces fairness through a provision of alliances in annual advocates who speak for those unable to present their own case, a notable nod towards equality, emboldening even the humblest to navigate the turbulent waters of justice and redress. Women's participation within this legal framework is not negligible. While men often appear in public-facing disputes, Women manage family conflicts and property distributions with acuity. Viking women hold sway through connections gathered around hearth fires and whispered decisions, contributing their wisdom to an egalitarian landscape that grounds their prominence. As the thing concludes, you find yourself reflecting upon the interwoven elements crafting the justice system. It is both rigid and supple, unyielding yet forged upon community values. Injustice spurs the Viking community to unite fiercely, ensuring the far-reaching ripples of wrongdoing are arrested in their tracks. The faint echo of voices settles into silence as evening deepens. The proximity of family and hearth draws you into comfortable repose, leaving you to contemplate the complex equilibrium straddling justice and humanity's depths. A quest ever present, weaving through sagas like the north wind through tall pines, whispering of trials yet unheard. In the quiet cradle of night, dreams dance sinuously through your mind, mingling with thoughts of consensus and care. Enveloped in the warmth of law and kin, you drift towards slumber, reassured by the enduring thread of justice's embrace. A harmonious balance arching like bright auroras across your people's chronicle, binding resolve and redemption beneath vigilant skies. As the days slowly begin to lengthen, you find solace in the powerful embrace of mythology and storytelling, a vital lifeline woven into the fabric of Viking life. Your world, steeped in the richness of Norse myths, paints a vivid tapestry where gods and giants, heroes and beasts collide in dramatic tales of power and vulnerability, shaping your understanding of existence and fueling the poetic flames of imagination. Your evening gatherings, illuminated by flickering firelight, transform into reverent spectacles where legends unfold, rich with narrative and meaning. It is here that life's manifold mysteries find expression in the relentless storm of creation and destruction, serenity and chaos, narrated by seers and storytellers who hold your captive attention with masterful precision. Central to these tales is the divine pantheon presiding over Asgard, the celestial realm of the gods. Odin, the knowledge-seeking Allfather, reigns supreme. His wisdom, won through sacrifice, strings a philosophical thread through the chaos of worldly inquiry. Thor, the hammer-wielding thunderer, offers a more visceral strength, a protective force against foes both seen and perceived. Loki, the enigmatic trickster, infuses the tales with wit and mischief, and ultimately a sense of uncertainty, injecting complexity into the moral fabric of these stories. These mythological narratives are not idle musings. They embody lessons and values that subtly guide your ethical compass as you navigate the waves of fate. Each tale carries echoes of broader truths, of courage, loyalty, betrayal, and redemption, lacing the past's insight with the present's relevance. As you listen with bated breath, the retelling of Ragnarok, the prognosticated cataclysm heralding both an end and a beginning, resonates deeply, articulating a cycle intrinsic to the ebb and flow of your world. Much like peerless sculptors, storytellers wield words in artful measure, crafting layers rich with symbolic nuance. Humour finds its footing here too, lending a welcome human element to epic deeds, where even deities are not immune to folly and blunder. Tales of Thor's dining mishap or Loki's cunning escapades evoke laughter, grounding the magnificent within the familiar and accessible. Historians still debate over how these myths developed and evolved, tinkered into being through centuries of courtly and folk traditions. Were they born of solely verbal exchanges or chiselled into runestones as a vessel for posterity? The whispers of history both conceal and reveal, but the prevalence of these tales throughout time attests to their enduring impact, artfully shaping social mores and personal identity. It's worth noting the role women play in these myths, as they indeed wield profound influence, embodying traits often overlooked by enemies and outsiders. Figures such as Freya, the formidable goddess of love and war, shape destiny upon the loom, a dance of life in mesmerizing balance. The Valkyries' selection of warriors for Valhalla amplifies themes of choice and transformation, challenging preconceptions of power and agency in manifold ways. Stories and myths go beyond mere memory or tradition. They are milestones marking milestones along the journey of life. They bring to life the eternal dance of creation, chaos, and cosmos, the intertwined forces reflecting the inescapable intricacies of the human experience. Within the gentle humming of stories, the warmth of kinship fosters a sense of sanctuary. These narratives are repositories for time-honoured wisdom, calling forth the echoes of ancestors who dreamed them into being. Each tale becomes a lantern lighting your path, piercing the dim folds of eternity with clarity and purpose. As the recitals conclude, you feel yourself drawn into the quiet embrace of nightfall, comforted by the familiarity of stars threading across the infinite expanse like the silken threads spun by the Norns. As sleep beckons, legends and myths mellow into dreams, a tapestry spread across the sky, eternal and unbroken. The wind carry whispers of tales yet to come, tracing unseen shapes across the darkened earth, inviting you to join the circle once again when dawn graces the horizon. In these moments of hushed remembrance, you find solace and inspiration, capturing the secrets embedded within the myths and stories that continue to dance lightly upon the breath of being. The rhythms of life, weaving through ever-present filaments of mythology, carry you tenderly into the realms of dream and destiny, a journey sparking the reflection of an eternal saga unfolding in perpetuity. Amidst the tapestry of life and legend, the concept of death and the afterlife holds a particularly significant place within Viking culture, framing your understanding of existence with both trepidation and expectation. As you ponder the cycle of life and death, you find yourself drawn into the realm of the metaphysical, exploring the enigma of what lies beyond the mortal coil. Death, in the Viking world, is not perceived as an end, but as a transition, a passage from the known to the unknown. It's a journey guided by beliefs richly steeped in myth and meaning, with every action in life potentially echoing into eternity. The sagas speak of two prominent afterlife destinations, Valhalla and Hell, each with distinct pathways carved by the deeds and valor of those they receive. Valhalla, the illustrious hall presided over by Odin, represents the pinnacle of Viking aspiration. It is a paradise reserved for warriors who have fallen in battle, where they are granted eternal feasting, combat, and camaraderie among the brave and honored souls who have preceded them. To be chosen by the Valkyries, those divine choosers of the slain who transport the valorous to the halls of Valhalla, is a coveted honor, a promise of glory magnified through the lens of eternity. Yet, the path to Valhalla is not easily trodden. It demands more than mere prowess on the battlefield. It requires an embodiment of the ideals revered by your people courage, loyalty, and sacrifice. In contrast, Hell is the realm shrouded in shadow, overseen by the goddess Hel, where those who die of illness or old age reside, a place neither punishing nor rewarding, but rather a resting ground for those who have lived. Despite the binary image these afterlives present, the spiritual landscape is more nuanced. Historians still argue whether Vikings genuinely believed in these literal realms, or if they symbolized broader philosophical ideals. Were they merely metaphors for honor, memory, and legacy? A poetic license that extended post-mortem relevance beyond the confines of a single finite life. The interpretations diverge like the paths of Yggdrasil, the world tree, yet each undeniably enriches the cultural narrative. The Viking funerary rites reflect this deeply held belief in transition, transforming death into a ceremony of passage. The processions, whether flame-licked pyres at sea or barrows carved into consecrated ground, serve not only as farewells but as celebrations of life, acknowledging the continuing journey beyond visible horizons. It is customary to send the deceased with grave goods, tools, and treasures meant to assist them in the afterlife, each piece chosen with care, laden with sentiment and meaning. Among your people, weaponry accompanies warriors, textiles wrap merchants, and even children find comfort in familiar objects, the winding procession of trinkets that enriches the path to the awaiting realms. Amid these traditions, an unexpected quirk emerges. The landscape of death, inscribed through ritualistic pets or symbolic totems sent to accompany their masters in the afterlife. Horses, hounds, and totems adorn burials like steadfast guardians, bridging a connection between existing there and their masters' ethereal worlds. For those who remain, the process of mourning is as varied as it is personal. It knits the fabric of community tight, forges bonds where grief unites, and defies the forgetfulness of time. The keening cries and chants weave through the gatherings, an embrace of loss and love intertwined, paving the way for acceptance and healing. As you reflect on the uncertainty of life and inevitability of death, you recognize that the depth of these traditions lies not just in their depiction of what comes after, but in their ability to create meaning for the living. They inspire every action, valor realizing its purpose, ensuring that each moment becomes an opportunity to shape how you are remembered. As the evening deepens and the soft rustle of leaves whispers through the night, you feel a ripple of calm spread within. Underneath the distant stars, it becomes clear that the stories you leave behind fuel the resonant chords of your existence. A legacy echoing beyond mere mortality. When sleep draws close, it wraps you in a gentle shroud, lending space for contemplation and dreams. Space where the myths of Asgard and echoes of Midgard intertwine. With the promise of legends yet etched into eternal chronicle, you embrace the balance of life and death, surrendering to the gentle rocking of destiny's annals. Awaiting another day and the vibrant whispers of life yet to unfold. As the horizon stretches out before you, a sense of uncharted adventure propels you into the role of both explorer and pioneer. The thrill of discovery beckons you beyond the familiar fjords and steadfast settlements, enticing you to cast your gaze across the formidable expanse of sea and land. For the Vikings, exploration is not just a pursuit, but an integral thread woven into the vast tapestry of life. A compelling narrative driving you towards the edges of the known world. Setting foot on your longship, each creak of the timber becomes a symphony of possibility, a gateway inviting you to distant shores. Your heart beats in time with the rolling waves, a rhythmic dance guiding you upon untested paths. The vastness of the ocean challenges you, a canvas painted with possibilities charting your voyage towards the unknown. The northern seas are a place of both splendor and peril, where the stark beauty of the waters belies hidden dangers lurking beneath. But it is from these very waters that your people draw strength, transformed into one of exploration's finest tools. The Longship's elegant design, with its shallow draft and swift maneuverability, allows you to navigate not only vast oceans, but the intricate waterways that lace foreign lands, bridging worlds separated by leagues of frothy waves. The call of distant lands, as ancient as the myths whispered among your people, rekindles dreams ignited by tales of fertile valleys, rich resources, and even potential settlement. The first sight of verdant shores, emerging through the morning mist, fills you with awe and anticipation, a glimpse into a world you've only imagined. Yet it is not solely the allure of conquest that propels you forward. You are driven by the desire to expand your horizon, to connect with new cultures, to trade and learn from those who inhabit lands bound by unique histories. As you journey farther afield, each interaction etches deeper lines of understanding, broadening not just your geographical map but the contours of your worldview. As you land upon unfamiliar shores, you befriend new environments, coupling the excitement of exploration with the challenge of adaptation. Engaging with the people who dwell there allows you to see beyond the monolithic Viking identity, realizing that each journey enriches your cultural fabric through exchanges that cut deeper than mere barter. In exchange for tools and goods, you gain knowledge stories of other worlds carried home to nourish the fertile soil of collective memory. Historians still argue whether the Vikings were more explorers or invaders, though in your story the reality is richly nuanced. A slightly different approach to each region, ranging from Iceland's welcoming embrace to the stern cliffs of Greenland, speaks to adaptability and pragmatism as fellow travelers upon the tide of time. In your pursuit of discovery, quirky tales dot the landscape of new narratives, accounts of mythical sea creatures soaring from ocean depths or celestial phenomena guiding your path in the night sky, lending an air of mystery and marvel to each journey. Humor too finds its place, languages unfamiliar yet hospitality transforming gestures into means of comprehension. A dance of mutual curiosity and amusement unfolding effortlessly wherever you gather. Women accompany explorers in varied capacities, fortifying settlements with the foundation of their resilience and wisdom. Through their guidance, new homesteads take root, a testament to the Viking spirit that dares to thrive where others might see only the unknown. Their stories, often unsung yet pivotal, twine deeply with the journey outward, bearing witness to the expansion of life across horizon lines once thought insurmountable. As dusk settles in, the days of venturing draw to a gentle close, and you return to familiar shores, your longship laden not only with riches, but with stories of lands yet unfolded. These return journeys stand as celebrations of the possibilities set afield, horizons deftly expanded by the Norsemen's indomitable legacy. Upon the fireside's evening glow, stories emerge anew, each recounted voyage a shimmering thread that intertwines with the glories of the past, a patchwork of fables and histories from other lands alongside the ones you've become kin to, thus build upon. Curiosity kindles, keeping brightly lit the flame of exploration residing at the heart of Viking consciousness, where the fruits of each journey remain alive long after the ships glimpse anchor beyond familiar shores. The lull of waves gently rocks you towards sleep, whispers of sea breezes feathering across the threshold to new worlds. In the quiet embrace of night, your dreams drift through unseen lands and uncharted waters, guided by a compass arrayed from the stars. You rest easy, comforted by the eternal promise of tomorrow's leagues, sullying yet another journey, guided by the dream of discovery. As you traverse the mysterious expanse of the Viking world, unforeseen dangers weave through the narrative of exploration and daily life, blending the tangible with the intangible. Your voyage into these hidden realms requires equal measures of skepticism and belief, for within this enigmatic framework lies the essence of Viking superstition, a lens through which the ordinary is magnified and coloured by the extraordinary. From the moment you arise to the moment you rest, omens and signs fill your awareness, their meanings whispered through dreams, nature, and the peculiar circumstances of everyday happenstance. These superstitions, embedded deep within the cultural psyche, create a realm of unseen forces that subtly guide your actions and decisions. The world around you pulses with mythical creatures, each shadow glimpsed from the corner of your eye a potential harbinger of fortune or mystery. The sea, your conduit to distant lands, teems with legends of the Kraken, a formidable leviathan slumbering in the dark depths, ready to unleash chaos upon the unwary. Beneath the forest canopy, the rustling of leaves might herald the presence of mischievous trolls, whose unseen hands meddle with those who dare to venture too far into their domain. Historians still argue whether these creatures were truly believed to walk the earth, or served merely as colourful metaphors in the rich tapestry of Viking lore. Yet for you, the boundary between belief and reality blurs. The stories hold power, infusing each moment with a sense of wonder and caution, reminding you of the delicate balance between the natural and supernatural. Amidst these looming spectres, you find grounding in rituals meant to appease or ward off malevolent forces. Offerings to spirits and adroit charms worn beneath your tunic are tangible expressions of the spiritual vigilance marking each day. When setting sail, a whisper of goodwill is carried on the winds, a plea for safe passage by sea. The threads of vigilance bind together communities, fortifying an invisible net that spans the settlements and beyond. These traditions serve not only as warnings, but also as links binding each life to another, an unbroken chain that unites family and clan. In quieter moments, quirks emerge from these beliefs, lending themselves to unexpected humour. As you recall the time a startled friend, convinced a sea serpent had taken interest, raised the alarm only to laugh heartily upon spotting a playful pod of dolphins. Laughter comes easily, a shield of levity tempered by acknowledgement and appreciation of life's mysteries. One initiative cherished within this realm, dreams serve as portals to foretell or unravel events before they manifest. Ships' movements are mirrored in nightly visions, instilling a sense of interconnectedness, where the waking and dreaming world coalesce. With every revelation resonates an awe, a reminder that shared curiosity and contemplation offer strength in navigating uncharted waters. The belief in fate courses through every thought and action. The notion of destiny and the Norn's weaving intertwines seamlessly into your decisions. Each choice a delicate thread, part of the grand tapestry of existence. Conversations linger on these threads, contemplating whether destiny is inexorably fixed or shaped by determined hands stitching each weave. This philosophical musing over forces unseen, deepened by the eternal alliance of nature and culture, mirrors souls intertwined over centuries, a paradox weaved within the fabric of mortal life. As the evening draws in, a gentle serenity envelops you, coaxed by the whisper of superstitions humming in twilight's embrace. The clear northern skies pulsate with the otherworldly luminesse of the auroras, a dance of light weaving across eternity, a reminder of the cosmos's elusive mysteries, cradling the seafaring souls. In the perfect harmony of whispered legends and shimmering constellations, sleep comes softly, gently drawing close the veil of unknowable mysteries. Within your dreams, the mythic creatures accompany you, casting long silhouettes over a starlit sea as you chart new tales. This nighttime voyage becomes a meditation, a delicate journey between worlds held close within mythology's whispered breath. As the threads of narrative draw toward their end, the soft cadence of Superstitions echoes promise, a gentle murmuring across realms, resonating with the heartbeat of Viking existence. Beneath the certainty of starbright night, you find solace in these whispers, cradled in the arms of history, until dreams become guideposts, pointing ever onward toward the dawn of tomorrow's discoveries. The sea, the land, and the stories gently rock you towards rest, knowing that the call to adventure will always find a place in Viking hearts, guided by both the seen and unseen along the soulful voyage of life. As the rhythmic tides of time continue to wash over the shores of the Viking world, you encounter the rich tapestry of cultural assimilation, a process that both challenges and enriches your people's identity. The encounters and exchanges with other cultures set the stage for a dynamic evolution, where the blending of diverse influences fosters both pride and tension, sparking a transformation that redefines what it means to be a Viking. Your journeys lead you to distant lands, where the customs and traditions of other peoples present themselves in curious contrast to your own. Initially, these interactions stem from necessity, trade routes and territorial expeditions bringing you face to face with new ideas and technologies. Yet they inevitably grow into a crossroads where cultures intertwine, leaving traces of both harmony and discord in their wake. In these far-flung exchanges, you find fascination in the novelties and variances of life beyond your homeland. The vibrant markets of the Middle East, brimming with silks and spices, tease your senses with hues and scents unknown. The monastic scribes of Ireland offer whispers of ancient wisdom etched onto pages. It's a journey of the mind as much as it is of the body, sparking a curiosity and respect for the multiplicity of human experience. As you immerse yourself in these new worlds, you observe your own culture undergo subtle shifts. Viking art evolves, incorporating elements gleaned from Byzantine mosaics and Eastern motifs. Language itself proves adaptable, adopting loanwords from diverse tongues, crafting a rich linguistic tapestry that weaves foreign threads into native cloth. Yet this assimilation is not without its challenges. Historians still argue over whether the Vikings saw these influences as marks of enrichment or encroachments upon their heritage. The tension between preservation and adaptation is palpable, creating an internal dialectic that echoes through the halls of time. Back at home, the conversation surrounding these cultural exchanges becomes a peculiar dance, where humour and satire emerge as tools of understanding. Jesting tales weave into community discussions. A visiting dignitary's clothing mistaken for sales, or gastronomic adventures with exotic dishes blur the line between jest and genuine cultural curiosity. Laughter, as always, becomes a balm that binds disparate views into a cohesive narrative. Women, notably, play a key role in this process of cultural assimilation, from the domestic sphere to trade markets. Their agency appears not only in the weaving of textiles that incorporate foreign patterns, but through diplomacy skillfully conducted over shared meals, bridging gaps with empathy and wisdom. Their role cultivates both connections and understanding, reinforcing that cultural synthesis thrives not just through conquest or trade, but through exchange and empathy. As you navigate these myriad interactions, a unique form of storytelling emerges, where tales of cultural encounters become parables exploring broader truths. These stories reach past geographical or linguistic barriers, capturing the imagination and enriching the community with lessons gleaned from beyond the Norse horizon. You return home, enriched not only with goods, but with a kaleidoscope of beliefs, insights, and intricacies that colour your perceptions and those of your people. The borders of Viking society extend outward, no longer limited by geographical constraints or traditional narratives, but buoyant within. A world rendered endlessly vast by diversity. As twilight falls upon your settlement, quiet contemplation reveals itself in the form of shared tales and personal reflections around the hearth. The interplay between cultural assimilation and preservation creates a dynamic landscape upon which today's lives are painted. It's a testament to resilience and adaptability, a blending that speaks to the heart of what it means to be Viking in a world ever expanding. In the warmth of the hearth's glow, dreams unfurl like sails upon foreign seas, drawing your spirit into the interconnected world of cultural exchange. Seeking solace amidst the shadows of the unknown, you embrace this intricate fusion of identity with newfound understanding, awaiting yet another dawn's journey, a voyage where new cultures continue to beckon, ever enriching the legacy of the Viking saga. As night settles, the unending dance between preservation, innovation and intrigue rocks you gently into slumber, cradled in the cooperative embrace of history and the whispers of destiny still to unfold. As you journey deeper into the Viking epoch, the horizon reveals a gradual yet profound economic transition. From warriors reliant on raids to traders thriving on commerce. This shift, nuanced in its progression, permeates your society, echoing the ceaseless rhythms of time as it redefines what success truly means. In earlier days, the emphasis on raiding was fueled by necessity, driven by limited resources and colder climates demanding desperate measures. It presented an opportunity for prestige and expansion, furnishing the war chests with plunder and giving birth to sagas of heroism and conquest that continue to inspire. But over time, the inherent risks and the ceaseless cycle of conflict revealed vulnerability, nudging your prosperity towards more stable and sustainable means. As your society's keenness towards trade blossoms, so too do the bustling markets and trading posts that dot the shores of Norse settlements. This transformation reflects an acknowledgement of a world increasingly entwined, one where alliances offer as much bounty as battle can yield. Here, merchants become the new trailblazers, sailing the same paths once prowled by longships laden for war, now seeking wealth through goodwill and negotiation. Your homeland, known for its rugged landscapes and resilient people, becomes a nation of bridges, connecting the diverse cultures that pepper the known world. The longships evolve, their forms honed to ferry wares and goodwill rather than warriors. You watch as foreign trinkets mingle with native crafts, beside stalls where eager traders engage in animated discussions, their faces aglow with the promise of prosperous futures. No longer solely regarded for martial prowess, Viking identity gently evolves, mirroring the changing tides. Gold and silver obtained through trade rather than plunder now shape your communities, each coin a testament to shared values and trust. Fellow sailors bring tales of distant lands, colourfully recounting the vibrant bazaars of Constantinople and the bustling markets along the Silk Road. These exchanges expand not just coffers, but minds, inviting new stories and interconnectedness into the Viking soul. Gone are the days when favourable winds dictated the soul's strategy. Historians still argue whether this shift was deliberate or the product of evolving interactions between societies, though the manifestations are plain to see. As markets flourish, so too do laws and alliances, diplomacy strengthening where spears once held sway. Families now invest as much effort in nurturing merchant fleets as in crafting swords, a testament to the nuanced adaptability your people wield. Harsh weather-blessed pragmatism guiding livelihoods beyond ferocity alone. Within this ecosystem, women take lead roles as traders, deftly overseeing negotiations and expanding networks with intuition as sharp as their wit. Within such shifting landscapes, you gleefully uncover the whimsical delights of cross-cultural trade. Exotic animals, perhaps noble elephants or curious monkeys, may be spotted on regal display, a conversation prompting laughter among traders, who recount tales of animal antics mixed with polite commerce. Yet, trade also presents compelling challenges. Struggles between the ethos of acquisition and fairness unfold in mesmerizing subtlety. Kings and chieftains, once measured by war's merit, become deft wielders of diplomatic strategy, their reputations sutured to the complex role of merchant diplomats. Renowned for their former raids, now they captain legitimate fleets, solidifying legacies through gold no longer stained by conquest. Enveloped within this juxtaposition, the educator's role flourishes, translating travel stories into learning, planting seeds of industry and invention. Byzantine coins are studied alongside Norse artifacts, and the runes are marvelled for their adaptability to the changing currents of knowledge. As night enfolds the settlement, the flickering glow of lamps illuminates gatherings where trade has interwoven itself into the prevailing narrative, where stories punctuated by laughter reflect newfound wealth, not measured solely by arms. Transcending raider tales, feasting fills halls with joy incarnate, celebrating history unfolding and acknowledging tomorrow's promise. In the tender embrace of a shared heritage, the cosmic dance between tradition and innovation continues, stitching across borders imaginary and real. As the fire's warmth enfolds you, tranquility settles in, soothing the brave hearts of navigators and traders alike. You pause to reflect on the rich tapestry of life, where each thread of gold and truth casts its own shade across the lands you call home. Dreams bear you forth upon silken waves, guiding you into the quiet darkness of night, a place where whispers of these transformations echo softly, cradled within the erudition of yesteryears and in the resplendent memory of time. As you drift into sleep, comforted by the bonds of shared discovery, you embrace tomorrow's promise, a future enriched through virtuous trade and the legacies penned across the Viking world. As the sun dips behind the rugged horizon, casting hues of amber and gold across sky and sea, you find yourself contemplating the enduring legacies of the Vikings, an intricate tapestry woven from myth and monument, saga and stone. These legacies echo across time, revealing how the stories of your people have transcended generations, and how both deeds of heroism and simple acts of daily life have left indelible marks upon the world. The land itself bears testimony to your ancestors' presence. Ancient runestones dot the landscape, their carved surfaces inscribed with tales of battles won, alliances forged, and lives well lived. These stones stand as silent sentinels, their inscriptions a bridge between past and present, a reminder of the fleeting nature of life, yet the eternal power of memory. It is here that you trace your fingers over the symbols, feeling the tangible connection to those who walked before you and who entrusted their stories to stone. Monuments to the gods, carefully constructed from earth and timber, reside at the heart of every settlement. They are sacred spaces of reverence and festivities, where community life unfolds in cyclical rhythms of celebration and ceremony. Here, the lives of deities and mortals intertwine, binding human experience to divine narrative, forging a spiritual legacy ignited by the call of the north wind. Historians still ponder the scale of these legacies, examining how the Vikings influenced regions far from their own shores. Their settlements, such as those in Iceland, Britain, and even North America at Vinland, speak of aspirations not just for conquest, but for building, blending, and being. These places are not mere outposts. They become havens of cultural exchange, where ideas cross-pollinate and daily resilience births a shared resilience that refuses to be tamed by time. In your mind's eye, you see the grand Longships, testaments to ingenuity and craftsmanship etched into the fabric of maritime lore. Their silhouettes carved into history, they represent not just the warriors who sailed them, but the artisans who crafted them, the communities who supported them, and the spirit of exploration they championed. These ships are metaphors as much as they are vessels, their presence in modern imagination steering narrative ships through the seas of books and films, calling audiences back to the age of Vikings, with each windward sail unfurled. Yet beneath the glamour of horned helmets, Mathiari, imaginations spun into palpable myths, lies the true legacy, the quiet resilience and bold adaptability that defined your ancestors' lives. In the eve's quietude, these legacies mingle with sagas passed through generations, a rich oral tradition that preserves the essence of Viking life. You feel the potency of these stories, infused with heroics but also with reminders of everyday resilience, of crafting, cooking, and cultivating community. Each tale conjures laughter and camaraderie, coupling the mundane with mythic grandeur, ensuring ancestors' deeds remain vibrant within the collective memory. As curiosity leads you deeper into the legacy's fold, quirky historical tidbits emerge, shaping their narrative echoes. Examples of technologically advanced tools, such as the Ulfberht swords, reflect an unexpected sophistication that challenges simplistic outsider views of Vikings as mere raiders. In truth, the legacy of the Vikings lies not just in the extraordinary, but in the nuanced interplay between myth and material culture. The imprint of Norse life survives in the linguistic traces found in European languages, the place names of far-flung settlements, and the shared traditions of seafaring people whose cultures were forever shaped by the egalitarian ethos of the Viking world. As the night stretches open, bearing constellations emblazoned in century-old wonder, you reconnect with the resonant chords of this heritage. You allow these legacies to guide you beyond the physical bonds of time, threading stories of bravery, brilliance, and belief, all part of an eternal voyage as essential as the Northern Star itself. You drift into a gentle dreamscape, lulled by the rhythm of hearts past. In this twilight embrace, The legacies of your people nestle softly amid lagaries spun with the timeless wisdom of life lived boldly. Anchored by tradition, yet forever forging new paths, the tales of the Vikings dwell on etched in memory and time, awaiting the dawn's revelation to etch anew. As you rest, you find comfort and strength, knowing your daily life continues to weave itself into this enduring tapestry, rich with legacy. As the narratives of Viking history unfurl like sails catching the wind, you find yourself amid storied debates that persist throughout academia, where scholars and historians diligently pass through the evidence left by centuries past. These discussions weave together a mosaic of interpretations, challenging and enriching our understanding of the Viking Age, and inviting reflection on the legacy left in its wake. From archaeological digs uncovering the remains of Viking settlements to the reinterpretation of ancient texts, historians piece together a fuller picture of life during this age of exploration and conquest. Each fragment of a ship, each shard of pottery, serves as a crucial clue in unraveling the tapestry of time. As you delve into these discoveries, you appreciate the nuanced perspectives they offer, akin to peering through a kaleidoscope where each turn reveals fresh insights and questions yet unanswered. One primary area of scholarly debate centers on the true nature and motivations of the Vikings, who loom in popular imagination as both fearsome warriors and skilled traders. The truth, as history suggests, is wonderfully complex. Were they primarily invaders and raiders, sweeping down upon unsuspecting shores with an unyielding hunger for loot and conquest? Or were they deft negotiators, establishing trade routes that connected disparate cultures and facilitated exchanges that enriched all involved? In truth, the Vikings were likely a blend of both, driven by survival, opportunity, and ambition. A multifaceted civilization capable of both war and commerce. Another captivating debate surrounds the structure and social dynamics of Viking society. While the sagas speak of warriors leading grand adventures, much was rooted in the strength of community bonds and the significance of the Thingvi assembly that upheld the rule of law. How did these assemblies, with their eloquent speakers and respected elders, wield power to shape society? And how did the roles of women, often wielding more influence than elsewhere in medieval Europe, contribute to this delicate social fabric? These questions fuel ongoing curiosity, urging scholars to uncover deeper truths. The thread of mythology weaves through these discussions as well, prompting debates around the vibrant Norse pantheon and its role in daily life. How literally did the Vikings interpret these myths? And how did they reconcile their beliefs with the growing Christian influences encroaching upon their territories? The transition from paganism to Christianity was not as abrupt as some historical records might suggest. Instead, it was a gradual intermingling of beliefs, where the old ways lingered within the new, preserving fragments of ancient tradition within the evolving spiritual identity. Historians still argue over whether the Viking exploits reached as far as North America before fading into the annals of time. The sagas tell of Leif Erikson and the brief settlement at Vinland, a tantalizing glimpse into the scope of their navigational prowess. These accounts, coupled with archaeological finds in Newfoundland, hint at a world-spanning reach that challenges us to reconsider the boundaries of exploration during the Viking Age. In the tapestry of history, quirky details emerge that highlight the humanity behind the Viking image. From tales of competitive poetry and daring flighting contests to the impact of culinary adaptations from newfound lands, the human element breathes colour and warmth into this historical exploration, capturing imagination and fostering connections across centuries. As night falls over the saga-laden halls of history, you turn these debates over in your mind, weighing each argument and reveling in the richness of narrative. The pursuit of knowledge remains a boundless journey, much like the voyages embarked upon by those ancestors so long ago. As you drift towards sleep, contented by the parallels between past and present, scholars on their own quests, passing myth and reality, contemplate the endless scope of these questions, propelling history ever forward. In the gentle embrace of night, the debates continue their celestial dance, an eternal dialogue between past and present, each opinion a starstrip within the vast firmament of Viking legacy. As sleep takes hold, you dream of these narratives unfolding anew, of stories waiting to be discovered beneath layers of time, ready to reveal themselves in the light of tomorrow's understanding. A promise as enduring as the North itself, driven by a never-ending quest for truth that awaits the illumination of dawn. As the chapters of history gently close around you, you find solace in the delicate whispers of time. each a reminder of the stories yet spun and the journeys that remain. In this final stretch of our exploration into the Viking world, we set sail on a gentle voyage toward dreams, weaving together the threads of cultural legacy, adventure, and the timeless quest for understanding. The world of the Vikings, so full of contrast and complexity, has led you through a symphony of experiences: the exhilarating freedom of the open sea, the quiet industry of winter's embrace, the profound wisdom of ancient myths, and the vibrant pulse of cultural exchange. Each step along this path has offered a rich tapestry of life's essence, a vivid reflection of human resilience, and a testament to the stories that shape us all. The rhythmic cadence of tale-telling echoes through the air, its soothing narrative winding its way around you, a balm that cradles you gently, inviting you to let go of worldly cares and drift into a warm embrace of contentment. The soft murmur of the sea laps at the edges of consciousness, its timeless lullaby a reminder of the flowing continuum that binds the hearts and souls of mortals to the undulating rhythms of nature. Tracing back through everything we've uncovered, the dance between shadow and light emerges, raiders transformed into traders, the austere solitude of winter juxtaposed with the vibrant tapestry of myths, and the complexities of social structures interwoven with the fluidity of exploration and discovery. The enduring narratives whispered by the stones, the sagas, and the skies reverberate with the legacies left in the wake of Viking sails. In this sacred moment of reflection, a sense of calm permeates your being, a reminder that even amidst the noise of life's challenges, there's always room for introspection and growth. The untamed spirit of Viking exploration continues to inspire the soul's yearning for new horizons, beckoning you forward through the uncharted realms of imagination and wisdom. As the glow of evening tints the sea with a silvery sheen, you surrender to the gentle embrace of twilight. The fires that once crackled with legends and laughter slowly dim, their warmth lingering in the air as a testament to shared experiences. The night sky unfurls its celestial canopy, strewn with stars that guide your dreams across the vast expanse of eternity. With a tender whisper of farewell to the shores of the known, you allow your thoughts to drift, carried by the soft, rhythmic rocking of history's cradle. In the quiet solitude of this moment, you find peace, a sanctuary infused with the echoes of past lives and the promise of new stories yet to be told. And so, as you gently close your eyes, the timeless serenity of the Viking world lulls you into restful slumber, a cherished companion on this endless journey across the seas of night. As you sink into sleep, the final whispers of history fade into a soft whisper, cradling you in the depths of the dreamscape, where the past meets the present, and the journey toward understanding unfolds anew beneath the watchful gaze of the stars. Greater than, greater than, greater than. End of script. Sweet dreams.